All right. So everybody, thanks so much for listening to this podcast. If you're listening to us on the radio and people that are watching us visually, they'll see why I'm smiling and laughing in just a second. But if you're listening to us on the radio, if you're listening to us on the podcast, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. We do interview amazing people that are doing amazing things all over the country and all over the world. So thanks so much. We've had, many people on here from Canine Companions for Independence in the past, people from the Northeast region. We've had people from the Southeast region, and we're going to go back to the Northeast region with an incredible interview with two incredible people that are both artists. One is a human artist and one is a dog artist. So we're going to see this, and this is Yvonne Dagger and Dagger, and he is called DogVinci, and we'll see them in a second. But guys, thanks so much for coming on. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for inviting us on. We really appreciate this too. Right, Dagger? Yeah.
All right. Can you tell people about you in general, how you became an artist, and also about your mission with Dagger and helping kids really learn some stuff about art and really making it fun in general for kids or adults for that matter?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for asking that. Great question, because I have actually loved art since I'm a teen. I took it in high school. I took it in college. I majored in art in college. And so I had my very first solo show in college, actually.
Oh, wow.
And then, life took me to being married and having some children. And so I was then, a mom and raised my kids. And when my kids were raised, then I decided, Dagger's saying hi. Then I decided that I wanted to continue or regenerate my art career. And but I had always painted throughout the years, but never where I would show at a gallery or be represented at a gallery, really. So I started painting, and I started pounding the pavement, really, when my kids were older and in college. They were in college,
Sure.
and so I had actually had my first show at a gallery out in all the way out on Long Island, out in East Hampton. And I sold out. The show sold out, which was amazing. And then a gallery picked me up and represented me for another 12 to 15 years. And now I'm represented out in West Hampton and up in Connecticut and, in the Northeast, really. And I continue to paint. But I started actually specializing in pet portraiture when one of my dogs had passed away. And it was a way for me to grieve and for me to get through that difficult time. And so I found my niche. I found through that portrait, I found my niche. So I decided that with my pet portraits that I would do something for either a shelter or an organization, something where I would give back. And I found Canine Companions for Independence through a dear friend, and who introduced me to Canine Companions for Independence, and went to one of their graduations and was immediately hooked. Immediately hooked.
Well, I always say when you go to those graduations, Yvonne, and if you don't cry, then you have something mentally wrong with you.
I know. I didn't know that at the time, but I was crying like a baby. And then every graduation that I've gone to since, which have been many, I have, because I've been involved with Canine Companions for the last 10 years now. I always say, I'm not going to cry this time, but I always bring one of those little packets of tissues, and I always grab them out and I have to use them because it is the most
it really is
heartwarming, emotional, but it's emotionally charged joy that's what the only thing I can say about it, you know, about the graduations, about Canine Companion graduations. And I right then and there said, I'm going to paint a very large painting for their new, at the time, a Northeast Regional headquarters, which is in Medford, Long Island. And so I painted this 60 by 48 inch painting, very large painting for their headquarters. And so the greatest part about it was that when I painted the painting, we had it framed. A wonderful, wonderful person from Long Island Picture Frame and Art Gallery, who actually represents exclusively Dagger now, framed it. And then what we did was we auctioned it off at their gala event, and it raised about $15,000 that evening. And then the person who actually won the bid, they donated it back to the center. So it was a circle, kind of a circle of love, if you might say. It was a giving. And then I painted another painting for the person who gave the painting. And it was a wonderful, wonderful thing, you know. So it still remains on their wall in the Northeast Regional Headquarters in Medford. It's called the Miller Family Campus. And we love it. Look at him with his back to the.
That's all right. Hey, I'm sure it's tough to sit on the chair and all that stuff. So
he's sitting on the chair.
He's doing his best. He's doing his best.
Exactly. Dagger actually was released from program after spending 4 months in advanced being professionally trained at Canine Companions Training Center.
Did you puppy raise Dagger, by the way?
Yes, and they named him after our last name, which is Dagger. So Dagger is Dagger. We call him Dagger squared, really. And so he's really a remarkable little boy, but he was released because he has some fear issues, believe it or not. He's afraid of the dark. He's afraid of stairs. He might have some other fear issues that we haven't even uncovered, you know, but he actually is, you know, they saw it. They are extremely professional. They read their dogs so well. And so they knew that Dagger had these fears, and they, after 4 months of learning how to open and close doors and drawers and turn on and off light switches and all kinds of neat things like that, they actually saw this in him. And so they decided to give us a call and let us know that he was going to be released from program, and would we want to adopt him. So of course, in a heartbeat, we said yes, that we would want to adopt him. And so, but the greatest part about that day that we adopted Dagger was that the puppy raiser manager, at the time, her name is Katrina Windsor. Mm-hmm. She had taken me aside, and she said, I want to show you what he can do. I want to show you because he loves to work. Mm-hmm. He loves to work. And she took me into the training room, and she showed me what he could do. And I was amazed at what he could do, what he had learned in 4 months. It was amazing to me. And so she said to me, you got to promise me one thing, though. You got to promise me that you'll take him home and you'll continue working with him, because he does love to work. It makes him feel successful. So I said, I promise you I will. And so went home, and I had a lot of fun with him, doing all kinds of neat things. And then one day I was painting in my studio on a commissioned pet portrait, and a Dagger comes up to me and he starts nudging me with his snout, and to get my attention, right? He started nudging me, and I said, what do you want to do, Dagger? Do you want to paint? Do you want to paint like mommy? And his tail started to wag. And so I took a tabletop easel and a canvas, and I put it on the floor, and I incorporated the command words as you know, these dogs, canine companion dogs, are command dogs. You give them a command, they do them. Those words that he had learned in professional training, I utilized them and taught him how to paint. And in fact, his professional trainer, Lauren Ferrioli.
Yes, I know Lauren very well. She's great.
She's a
She
great
left,
lady.
didn't she?
Yeah,
She left.
she's down in Florida right now, actually. She came, and she actually, I really wanted her to come and tutor Dagger, you know, and help me out, because I'm not an animal trainer. I'm not. I'm an artist. So she came for about a month. She came,
Wow.
and she said to me, you know, she said, I'm not tutoring him. He knows what to do. I'm tutoring you. So I said, oh my goodness, I never thought of it that way. And she said, yeah, I'm tutoring you. I'm giving you the confidence to be able to teach this little guy.
Yeah.
And so well, anyway, we worked, and she said to me, we never really put any paint on the brush. We just had him push on the canvas with the brush and get the idea that his brushes, I have his brush right here. This is his brush. And so he would push on the canvas with the brush. And so
how did you design the brush? Sorry to interrupt you, Yvonne.
Oh boy, this was a tough one. This was the hardest thing for me to have to do, was to design this brush.
Yeah.
The first brush that he had was actually the inside, let me get this, the inside of a roll of paper towels. And what I did was I stuck this 1-inch brush inside of this tube and duct taped the whole thing together. And he used that for about a year. He was using something like that. Yeah, it was great. But then it started to get to be dilapidated and icky. Yeah. And so I found this dowel in my junk drawer, and I started using it. I started asking him to get it, to get. Yeah. And he liked it. He liked the wood. He liked the feel of it. It might have reminded him of what he was taught at Canine Companions when he was being professionally trained. So then I decided he's been using this for about 4 years now. This is the 1-inch flat brush attached with duct tape. And then actually what happened was it would keep sort of slipping out of his mouth a little bit. So I decided to put some of this tape here to hold his mouth here. Dagger, do you want to come up here? Hey, Dagger, come on up. I got a treat for you. He works for treats, by the way. If anybody wants to know. Come on up. Come on. Yep. Oh, good boy. We'll let him finish that, and then I'll show you how he holds the brush. Dagger. Sometimes he's a temperamental artist. Dagger, let me take the dowel out of there. Okay, so now see how turn Dagger, turn this way. Yeah. See how he holds it. Here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. See how he holds it? Yeah. See there? Turn. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. See that? Yeah. Right? And he'll hold that. He'll hold that until I ask him to give. And then he'll give it back to me, as you know. And then, of course, he always needs a treat.
Hey, they love their apples. That's for sure. They love their apples.
So he started to paint all these really beautiful works of art where every brushstroke is applied by Dagger himself. And I said, what are we going to do about this? We have to do something really, really special. And I've always felt the need to give back, to be able to do something for charity, for an organization that we're passionate about, or that someone is passionate about. And so we decided that if you made a donation to Canine Companions, that you would get a free painting from Dagger.
Wow.
And so Newsday heard about this, and our local newspaper, a wonderful journalist, her name is Patricia Kitchen, and she wrote an article, and the article went viral and went all over the world. And within 2 weeks, we had 150 commissions. Dagger had 150 commissions. And so he then started, I mean, we had commissions from the UK. I mean, he was on the front page of the Daily Telegraph in the United Kingdom. He was in the newspaper in South Korea. He's been in newspapers in Italy and in Spain and all over the world. And so to deliver to them was like a monumental thing, to deliver paintings and ship to that all over the world. So that's when we decided to ask our good friend Jim Perner at Long Island Picture Frame and Art Gallery to represent Dagger, and he's been representing Dagger for a good 4 years, 4.5 years now.
Wow. I mean, it's really an incredible story, but I mean, he's such a smart dog, and he's a good dog for sitting as long as he did in that chair. I know that's probably not his favorite spot in the house. So, so he's done an amazing job.
Not unless there's food here.
Yeah,
But
you ain't kidding, right?
that's the truth. But I have to say that Dagger, so far in the past 5 years, Dagger has painted over 750 paintings.
Wow.
And he's donated about $145,000 to charity, to various charities.
Oh, so it's different. It's some, you give a little bit to CCI, a little bit to another charity, a little bit to another. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So if you go to Dagger's website, DogVinci, DOGVINCI.com, and you go into his store, you'll be able to, let's say, he actually, this is one of his paintings, and this is a tie. This is a tie that is made in Italy that he sells on his website. It's all silk, and I'm actually wearing one of his scarves. That is this painting right here. This is this scarf. It's linen and made in Italy as well. And if you go to his website and you buy one of his original paintings, prints, or some merchandise like this, all of the proceeds, not part of, but all of the proceeds go to charity. And there's a drop-down menu, and you can choose the charity you want to give to. So Dagger gives to the Canine Companions for Independence. He gives to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the National Research Dog Foundation, Disaster Research Dog Foundation. He gives to Memorial Sloan Kettering. He gives to, where else do you give, Dagger? Oh, many, many Forgotten Friends of Long Island, the ASPCA, you name it. That drop-down menu will have it there, and Dagger gives to those charities.
It's incredible. You guys are doing great work. And at the end of the interview, because I do have a couple more quick questions before we end. So is Dagger the only dog that you have right now, by the way?
Right now, Dagger is our only dog right now. We just unfortunately, go ahead, Dag, you can get down. We just actually had to say goodbye to our other released dog from Canine Companions. Yaya was 11 and a half, and she developed cancer. We miss her every day, and she knew just as much as Dagger. She was a really smart little girl, the love of my life. I mean, really. So
how old is Dagger?
Dagger Dagger will be 9 in October 6th. She was born in 2012. So he's getting up there too, but he's pretty healthy right now, and we treasure every day that we have with him, you know.
Right.
But Yaya, I called her Miss Yaya. She was his muse. So she would sit next to him. If you go on any of his social media channels, you'll be able
Okay.
to see many, many pictures of Yaya with Dagger. And we've always had many. Dagger grew up with many dogs. We've always had beagles and rescue dogs and all kinds of dogs and fostering dogs and from canine companions, that sort of thing. So, but right now he's our only dog right at this moment.
So would you look into puppy raising again, or even, fostering dogs now to give Dagger a friend again? What are you thinking, Yvonne?
Well, yeah, and we have a grand dog. His name is Walter,
Okay.
and he comes over quite often. And we actually, he stays here for overnight visits and things like that. So there's always a dog in the house. There's always someone for Dagger to play with. I wouldn't be adverse to doing it, but I have to tell you, Dagger keeps me very, very busy. He is between his painting and the interviews and things that we are involved with. Dagger is a full-time job. Every day I put a positive message on Dagger's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, and I just feel that the world needs a lot of kindness
I agree with that.
and and compassion. And Dagger's message is education and community service. And so that's what we try to get across to people during the workshops that we did pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
We did a lot of his workshops. Libraries and schools were clamoring actually to get him to come to their school and library to do these workshops where I would actually give a history about Dagger, and he would do a painting demonstration, and then the students would make their way over to canvases and easels that was set up for them to paint in what I'd call the DogVinci style of painting. But I would also teach them about art history, depending upon their ages, and talk to them a little bit about abstract art, which is a hard concept for kids to get, and so those workshops were so great.
Again, Yvonne Dagger here on Fire Breathing Rob. Yvonne, do you feel like those art classes you had with the kids did change their lives? Did any of them come back and say, they really took an interest in art after they went to your classes?
Yes. In fact, there was a little boy, we had done a little bit of a workshop, and it was for children with disabilities, and Dagger did. And this little boy had come over, and he was Dagger was doing a painting demonstration at the time, and he was acting up, and his mom said, "Oh, he doesn't really like to create that much. He doesn't like art at all. So we're going to step away. We're going to step away." And I said, "Fine, no problem. That's fine. Everybody has their interests, And so all of a sudden, as Dagger was painting, he comes over to Dagger and he starts talking to Dagger. And he said, "Dagger, do you think I can do what you do?" And Dagger just kept painting. And he said, "I think I could paint like you." So I said, "Wow." I said, "Let's get this little boy a smock and get him painting." So we got an easel and set it up, and he started painting. And he kept talking to Dagger as he was painting. And he kept asking Dagger, "What do you think of this? Do you like that? Oh boy, I'm so happy that you're here with me, Dagger." And it was the most beautiful thing that his mom started videotaping the whole thing. And she was crying as she was videotaping it. And then she shared it with her husband, who of course also cried because they never saw their son, who came out of his shell and started to create. And they never even knew that he had it in them, and Dagger brought that out. And I've seen many, many students come up to Dagger at the end of workshops and say, hey, Dagger, you know, I think I can paint just like you. I think you're a little bit better than me, but I think they talk to him. And it's the greatest thing to hear that, and of course he loves it. He's a real showman. He loves the lights. He loves to get down on his back and belly rubs and everything else. It's the best thing in the whole world for him. But we've had many children come up at the end of class and during class and actually are inspired by Dagger, which is, to me, is everything. I mean, Dagger was supposed to help one person. And we were disappointed. It was a bittersweet time to be able to have Dagger, be released from program at Canine Companions. But he's helped thousands of people since he's been released. And to me, that's like the best gift.
Yvonne Dagger here. I'm Fire Breathing Rob, and Dagger was here, but he's taking a little hiatus for a couple of minutes, but he'll be back. But Yvonne, first of all, where can people find more about you, more about Dagger's work in general, also your work, of course, too, if they want to help out and buy anything in general?
Sure. You can just go to DogVinci, DogVinci.com, and it'll take you to his website. And then you can actually take a look at everything, and you can go into his store. There's free shipping throughout the United States, and there's a lot of neat things. And I'm happy to say that we're working on making puzzles of Dagger's paintings too. So they should be coming out in probably around the holiday time in December. So yes, it should be fun. Those should be a lot of fun.
I agree. Yvonne Dagger and Dagger, thanks so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to going on the website and going through the social media, and also seeing all the items you have up for sale, because it seems like a good thing to do all around. You get a nice piece of art or a tie or a scarf or whatever it may be, and you're also giving to a good cause as far as that money going to.
Here comes Dagger. Dagger, come on over. Come on over, Dagger. I want you to, Rob, I want everyone to see Dagger and the way he looks right now. Take a look at this boy. There's his hat. Let's fix you, Dagger. Let's fix you. Your bow tie is all the way around the back. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to everybody, right? Let's turn and see. Okay, there you go. There you go. You're much better. Oh. Okay, good. There you go, Dagger. Okay, say goodbye to everybody. You see everybody in there? Yeah, over here, Dags. Look, right there. Yeah.
Can we get a speak?
Oh, sure. Dagger has a hard time with speak, but we'll try. Dagger, speak. He's thinking. Dagger, speak. Hey, come on, speak.
It's okay.
Speak. Come on, speak. Oh, he does. Dagger, speak. Come on, speak. I guess he's not going to speak.
It's okay.
He's better at holding his brush.
That's all right. That's better off, I think.
The brush of life. His brush of life, right, Dagger? Yeah, he has a hard time with.
That's all right. It's
Dagger.
That's
speak.
all right. He did a good job.
Come on, speak.
He's done. He's had enough for today.
He's a good boy.
He's had enough for today. He did a good job. But